So we have seen obviously that in Marvel Rivals, there's a lot of costumes to choose from. And what's really awesome is, unlike some previous Marvel games, right from the jump, we've got a ton of suits inspired by the MCU. Whether it be from movies that these characters have appeared in, or even Disney Plus shows, which is awesome. But I think what's even better about this game is they didn't just include these suits that are inspired by the films or the shows that these characters popped up in, but also went the extra mile to include awesome references to these Disney Plus shows and MCU movies. So I wanted to go over all the MCU Easter eggs that we have so far in this game. And let's start things off immediately with the Guardians of the Galaxy. A lot of these suits are inspired by Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I should also mention that a lot of these references are actually just the MVP outros. If you were to receive the MVP award, if you were the best player of that game, there's a special animation as part of a bundle for these skins. So with Star-Lord and his Guardians of the Galaxy 3 suit, it shows an MVP animation that references that scene in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 where they're on Counter-Earth and they're fighting the High Evolutionary. It's when everybody starts blasting. Him and Groot are together. You can actually see Groot momentarily in the actual MVP outro. And then we move over to Rocket. His MVP animation as part of the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 skin that he has in the game is actually a reference to the amazing hallway fight that's in that film. I mean, we can all agree that's just the best part of the movie. That was the part where, like, if it was a Caboose video, I would definitely be scrolling down and hitting the like button. It's awesome. You know, he's crawling over one of Groot's branches. And actually, let's transition over to Groot. Funny enough, he doesn't have like his main Guardians of the Galaxy 3 look that he has throughout the entire movie, but rather the look that he has in the post-credit scene. And Groot's MVP outro is pretty much pulling exactly from that post-credit scene. It's when Rocket hits that boulder, or at least what we thought was a boulder, and then it's revealed to be none other than Groot. And then we move over to Mantis. You know, there is a moment in the film where there's all these creepy monsters that are trying to eat the Guardians, and she realizes that she can use her powers to help tame these beasts. And I think actually in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, they fight one of these monsters in the beginning of the film. And then finally, we have Adam Warlock. This kind of concludes all the Guardians that are in the game so far, and his MVP outro is a reference to that Counter-Earth fight. When all these explosions are going off, Adam Warlock is flying through those flurry of explosions. They reference that in his MVP outro. Let's move on over to Namor, or Namor as he calls himself in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Of course, he has that same look from that film. Such a sick look for the character, I might add. It looks so damn good in this game. And he has the MVP animation that references the moment when him and the Talokan arrive at Wakanda and they're ready to attack. He walks out of the water, and then they kind of combine that scene with what happens moments after he is shot at by some of the Wakandan ships, where he takes flight by taking these big steps. It's so sick. Not a lot of people talk about Black Panther Wakanda Forever, I feel like, these days, and there is so much that's good about that film, and the way they handled Namor is one of them. And before we get to the next one, if you've been liking the content here on this channel and you want to see some more Marvel Rivals videos right here, make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications. But okay, let's now transition over to Black Widow. She actually has the all-white suit that she wears in her solo film, and with that, the MVP animation she's got attached as part of the bundle with her suit references the moment in the Black Widow film when she's trying to break Red Guardian out of prison. She jumps out of that helicopter, does a cool flip in the air into an action pose. But funny enough, there's also an emote that comes with this bundle, and to my knowledge, I think this is referencing the total poser moment in that movie. You remember when Yelena is kind of making fun of Black Widow and the fact that she's a poser and that she likes to do that cool Black Widow pose all the time. All right, but we've gone over a lot of the suits and the references to the movies, but now let's transition over to the Disney Plus shows. Loki Season 2, for me, is one of the best things that we've gotten out of the MCU. The finale for Season 2 makes one of the best character arcs that we have seen out of all of these characters they've introduced in this franchise. And so thankfully, they added that look that he gets at the end of Season 2 with the giant horns when he becomes the God of Stories. And what's even cooler is that his MVP animation is a reference to that specific moment as well. As he assumes the role of the God of Stories, he grabs all these loose, dying branches and makes sure to keep everything together. And they reference that here in that MVP animation with that iconic moment as well, after it zooms in onto his face, him recognizing his place in the universe. And the bundle also comes with a really cool spray. It shows a silhouette of Loki from that moment during the finale, and it has a direct quote from the finale before he heads out and gets that new costume, where he says, I know what kind of god I need to be. And then we move on now to Scarlet Witch. She was in the Disney Plus show WandaVision, a really good Disney Plus show that then transitioned her role as the villain of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And that is the suit that she is wearing in this game that they took inspiration from. And if you get MVP with Wanda, well, then you're going to see the cool animation play out from the moment in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness where she shows up in the Camartage and crawls out of a reflection as she's chasing down America Chavez. Super creepy, weird body horror. She's snapping body parts into place. It's so sick, though. And then it ends with a nice little pose there. But funny enough, she has an emote bundled in with this MCU suit if you want to get the full bundle, and the emote actually references WandaVision. You might remember during the post-credit scene leading into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, it shows Wanda in possession of the Darkhold, and she's studying it before she hears her sons. And so yeah, the emote is her flipping through that Darkhold. And you can also tell too, with this suit, she has the blackened fingers, you know, as she's using the dark magic. I think that is such a nice little detail. They really didn't miss out on a beat here. The devs for Marvel Rivals went all out, especially with these MCU skins. That brings us finally over to our boy Wolverine. And you already know what's going on here, okay? We've got the Deadpool and Wolverine suit. Thankfully, I did not expect that this was going to be in the game day one. This film only just recently came out, but it looks like the devs were on it. Maybe they were working in collaboration with Marvel long before the film would come out to get those assets to work on the skin so that it was ready for the launch. Even more than that, though, if you get MVP with your boy Wolverine, it references the scene in the movie where they're beating the crap out of the Deadpool core in the bus. Only this time, instead of it having being Deadpool and Wolverine jumping out the back, it's just Wolverine this time, so he gets to strike that pose and not have anybody ruin it. If you want to get the bundle as well with this, it comes with an emote of a TVA door opening and a bunch of signs fly through with the LFG that's a part of the marketing for Deadpool and Wolverine. It was the main tagline for the movie. But one thing that I wanted to point out, one last thing, as part of the bundle as well, you get a spray, and it's 1/2 of a heart. It is a Wolverine themed heart. It references actually this necklace right here. So who is that other half? And will we see that other half show up in the game with an MCU bundle of its own to complete that spray that Wolverine has? I would say that that spray being in the game almost confirms that Deadpool is going to show up. I mean, not that there was ever a slim chance that Deadpool will be in the game. There is definitely a good chance he's going to show up at one point or another, but I wonder, maybe it's going to be sooner rather than later. Iron Man has his suit from Avengers Endgame, and actually when you select the suit in the store, when you just look at the suit in game, it starts off with an animation that first references the moment in Avengers Infinity War when Thanos drops a moon on him, and then quickly flashes that he's got the Infinity Stones. It's so sick. His MVP animation is a mix of the moment where him and Rescue are just absolutely annihilating all of the aliens during the big battle in Endgame, but it quickly ends off with the snap using the Infinity Stones. This might be the coolest MVP animation in the game. The emote that comes bundled with the Avengers Endgame suit for Iron Man is the moment in Avengers Endgame where he actually figures out how to do time travel. And then we also have the Iron Armor suit. This is from Spider-Man No Way Home, or in a lot of Spider-Man movies it's popped up way too much. I kind of wish this was the hybrid suit, especially considering what it's referencing in a lot of the animations. When you first select the suit, you'll see a cool animation to intro it where he's fighting Sandman at the Statue of Liberty. He's got an emote where he's trying to cast a spell with Doctor Strange's magic, which, I mean, that was specific to the black and gold suit. So again, nothing is matching this specific costume. If you were the MVP with this suit, you'll see a video play out where he's swinging around the city, dodging some shots, and then he lands with 2 other Spider-Men behind him. Obviously an Easter egg to the moment in Spider-Man No Way Home where the 3 Spider-Men swing together before they land on the Statue of Liberty. And then finally in the bundle, you get a spray, which is the pointing meme, the iconic pointing meme. You already know what it is. But that's it. Those are the MCU references that we got in the game so far. We know that there's going to be the No Way Home Iron Armor for Spider-Man. I wonder what they're going to do to reference an MCU scene for that suit. And I imagine there's going to be many more MCU costumes for a lot of the characters that are in the game down the line. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do to pay attention to those tiny little details for everybody who are fans of those Disney Plus shows or those MCU films. I mean, shoot, there's still a lot of characters that are on the base roster that don't even have an MCU costume. I'm really surprised that Captain America doesn't have anything, the Winter Soldier, but also, you know, there are a lot of MCU related things that are in this game. I really wonder if for characters like Wolverine or just in general, some of the X-Men characters that they have in this game, if maybe we'll see some of their costumes from the original Fox X-Men movies. I mean, Disney owns Fox now, so, you know, I would love to see if Magneto got something from any of the films. Like the original Ian McKellen look is pretty sick and would look awesome in this game. There is a ton that they can pull out from either Disney Plus shows, movies, whatever it might be. Prepare your wallets, okay? You're gonna have to spend a lot of money on this, all right? And with that being said, let me now kick it to you guys. Sound off with your thoughts in the comment section below. What is your favorite Easter egg that they got in this game from the MCU? I've been Caboose. I'll see you guys later.